All right, you guys, today we're going to start on the rest of the electrical system. Got all my parts in finally. We've got it in the garage for a little bit better laying on the ground, getting up underneath some of it. If you remember when we left off, we've ran the wires up to this location here. We're gonna probably end up mounting the box here, and we've got that on the back. As you can tell, I've gotten a lot of it sprayed a little bit more. We are gonna be taking it today to actually get the new axles made. I don't know if that will be on this video or not. We got the rear light mounted. You can see it's better lighting now. The front ones we still got to do, and we're gonna finish that up. So this is the 7-pin box. It's got 8 foot of wire, and then this is the connection box that goes inside of it. Picked this up off of Amazon. I think it was like 20 or 25 bucks. And what we're gonna end up doing, bring this back up to the front. And we're going to mount this right here. That way it's kind of tucked out of the way and we can get all of our wires ran. One of the first things we gotta do is make sure that our 8 foot of line can make it to the actual vehicle. That will be our only restriction. If we have to end up moving it, it could possibly go out here or even possibly on the inside, since we are gonna be changing this out, but we'll figure that out here in a moment. All right, as you can see, I've chosen the location. I went and took the wire out, and I'm gonna run the wire through these holes that were the factory spots. I've already put 2 self-tapping screws in. I'm gonna put 1 more in dead center. And then this box will be good to go. All right, and as I said before, we're gonna wire this part up and through. These screws didn't wanna come out. So instead of trying to fight with them, I'm just gonna do it the easier way and run my wire through the existing holes. And you're gonna see some of the paint rubbing off because I literally just sprayed this about 10 minutes ago. And I'm not worried about that. This probably will end up getting painted the same color anyways. And we're just gonna continue running this back. All right, as you can tell, we've got this mounted up. We've got our wires back in. We've got the little spacer that allows it to come in and seal. And we've got our wires soldered in. So I do a crimp and a solder just for extra longevity to make sure I don't have any issues out of that. For the running lights here, I've got 1 going to the back and then 1 going right to the sides. And then we've got our green to green, and everything else is going to match up. So we're just going to put those on and go to our next step. All right, you guys, one of the things I want to go over, obviously I got this off of Amazon, and obviously they didn't follow the color coding like they're supposed to. As you can tell, I've toned this out. The incoming, let me get you up here. The incoming brown is actually the turn signal. The incoming green is actually supposed to be our brown for our running lights. Their incoming red is actually our other turn signal. The incoming black is actually our power for to charge batteries and stuff. And then the incoming white is actually the ground. At first I thought maybe I had done something wrong, but then I remembered to go back, double check everything. And when I toned this out, I came over to our plug. And as you can tell, the plug has the diagram. And if you don't believe me, go check on Google and everything else on the diagrams. Going off this one that the plug is in is our ground negative. And so what I did is I came back and confirmed that we had ground, as you hear by the beep. I've done that with each one to tone it out to confirm that their plug wires are actually the wrong colors, matching up with what is the traditional US standard. I don't know if maybe they have a different standard in wherever this was made, and that's the reason, but it's kind of frustrating. But keep that in mind when you're doing your projects, is make sure you're testing your colors to what the setup is supposed to be properly. Because if I had just left it, I ended up, would have had the ground on direct current coming in, plugged it in, shorted stuff out. Luckily, when I was doing this, I caught that beforehand. I do know that in some of the camping RV trailers, they like to use the white as the negative and the black as the positive, which is what it is in your 110 field. But generally, when you get your trailer wiring, they keep the black as your ground. So just something to keep in mind. All right, we've got it all wired up, and I haven't finished tucking the wires up and securing them, but you can see the actual look. These are the lights here. gives you one to the front, so when cars are coming at you on a lane, they can see the edge of your trailer. And then you've got your side marker, and these are all just running. You got the running on the back, and then you've got your turn combination with also your running light in that. All right, and before I leave today, I am going to be heading up to get the axles started. This is the setup we've decided to go because this trailer is a little bit heavier than the 101s and some of the lighter weight ones. We went ahead and are going to do the 5,000 pound axle with the 8 lug nut setup. So this is 8 lugs on 6.5, and we're doing the electric brakes below it. Let me grab those. So there will be our drum brakes, so that we will have powered braking on this while off-roading and just with the extra weight that we have. Also, some of the stuff that's going to be coming up in some of the next few videos, we will be starting to make our actual rooftop tent carrier. We're going to be using the 1x2 metal bars, and we're going to start forming that, and I'll go over how I'm deciding to do some of that for us. And then after that, we'll be putting the rooftop tent on, which has been sitting in the garage. So hopefully we can get this going. We've got a couple of the items in here that we will be taking out shortly. But right now, this is the status we're at. All right, you guys, and as you can see, we have the axle back. It has been custom made for width, and we'll probably be getting that mounted up in the next week or two, and we'll get that done. In the meantime, I've got my rims and tires on order, and we'll go over those options when we get here.